All right, we are live.
Hang on
right?
one sec.
Almost live.
Looks like we're streaming.
Says we're live. Hi.
Yep,
I'm
we are
sorry,
live.
it worked. Okay, great. Hi, Boston Poetry Marathon 2021, night 2, 8 o'clock hour. Here we are all live. I'm Gilmore Tamney. I'm your host for this hour. And Suzanne Mercury is our tech host. Thank you, Suzanne. Okay, our organizers for this year's Boston Poetry Marathon are Xena Strong, Suzanne Mercury, and Bridget Eileen, as well
And Christina
as
Liu.
Lou. Yeah, and thank you, organizers. And thank you to the volunteers, Gilmore Tamney, Daniel Pritchard, Tom Daly, Joe Elliott, Douglas Rothschild, Brendan Lorber, and Chad Parento as special assistant to Carol Weston. We're streaming live on Facebook page at Boston Poetry Marathon, our Twitter at Periscope, which is at Boss Poetry Mara, and live on the YouTube channel. For the links to these broadcasts, please go to bostonpoetrymarathon.wordpress.com/watch. Okay, this year's Boston Poetry Marathon is a fundraiser for local organizations that work for racial justice, in support of the Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate movements. Donations will go to Sister Five Rhode Island, the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts, and the Boston Chinatown Neighborhood Center. Admission to the Boston Poetry Marathon is free, but a $10 or more donation to the fundraiser is recommended and appreciated. Please go to bostonpoetrymarathon.wordpress.com/donate for more information. Go to the pinned post or the bios in social media and for those links as well. Okay, I'm going to introduce the readers of the hour. They're going to give a quick hello and then mute themselves, and then we'll go to our first reader. Okay, we have Gail Batchelder.
Hi there, everybody.
Great.
Thanks for being here.
Judson Evans.
Hi, everyone.
Carol Weston.
Yes.
Hey, Carol. Okay.
Hi.
Lloyd Schwartz.
Hi.
Hey, Lloyd. The magnificent Bridget Eileen.
Hi.
There she is. Is Florine here? No. Okay. And then Aaron Bells.
Hi, everyone.
Hey. Okay, great.
Oh, you forgot mine too.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lori. Oh, I skipped one. Sorry about that. Lori Lubeski.
Hi.
There she is. Sorry about that, Lori.
No worries.
Okay. So let's get started. We're going to have a co-reading and with Gail Batchelder and Judson Evans. Please take it away.
Thank you. Thanks so much to everyone who's here and to the organizers. Yes, Judson and I are going to be reading alternating poems. We are reading from our manuscript, from our book called Chocsong, which we co-authored with another collaborator, Susan Berger-Jones. And that book is coming out in September from Lily Poetry Review Press.
And I'll just say that these are poems that are inspired by cave art and specifically Werner Herzog's documentary, The Cave of Forgotten Dreams.
They had as morning an impromptu air. Before meteor shower and moon landing are rinsed away, waterproof yourself with sweet almond oil. Wake here and here. After long, loose sleeping, flank to flank, imagine. You are an ant walking across the surface. Echo the lilt of vermilion. Amber caught fire. Stagger through foxglove into caves across dunes. In stolen words and cloud forms, praising the chipped away savior. Keep waiting for chocsong. Untitled Chove Tu. The little song hardly begun. You asked whether anything falling inward flashed in the ice. High on a rock you listened, parched air rushing sleek and agile into the chamber. The swirl of storm eye snapping even the narrowest shadow of twin near planets. Bones of its passing choked the usual 1,000 responses. In its wake, the low hum of padded soles like brushes across drum skin. First day. You polish 1,000 umber windows, wet transfer of inktails and horse bramble you call broken, blue eyes, steel hurt, in places like Landbridge, Harbor, or Car Door. You have flown by handwritten pages, telling us the lanky one, rimmed in rust, messages whole choruses when acrid scent of trapped air becomes camera and light. Heft will uncurl shoulders, unbuckle the experiment, collecting landmass and snowmelt. We carry scuff and hum.
Codex collapse syndrome. We sandbag the ventricle leak of ancient light to restore halos to the right objects. Freezers, turn signals, microwaves. Everything is early, spry with milt, the delicate climate of arrival. Drafts of air so narrow our ears fold back their sound. Comb over psalms smelt muzzles from the overlap of horse heads. Music can't caress itself by these long playing lassos. Contour before line, overtones before the molten bell of an opening. We are sphinx cubs in our hiding places. The sky on our skin still unhewn, are scribbled brochures of lightning. Without provisions, a more vulnerable hibernation, a species liable to generic dreams. Then thrash and release the fan of landlocked arms. Quick lime sparks each loaded cloud or brush. Anyone can draw a blue bead on the GPS, forking river for the vector home, or carve a new nipple for the limestone continent.
Was. You foraged filament in a backlit crowd of rounded limbs, severed as though torn by bombs, an embrace, a gouge between legs, while the giant gesticulates over the plexiglass box. You want to flee on animated flicker. Now the white-gloved butler offers the pale wooden coffin for a bone flute, its spine scored across the axis as though force of song could hold a body erect. Watching eyes rolled back, sockets bright as overflow, always you, the guardian, lamp black, marred and cleft, press of tooth to flank, your jaw slack. There will be a helmet like a bear skull to protect your instruments.
Wolf boy. Between one footprint and another, 10,000 years. Bulky quiet of one whisper against the match-struck others, the hard liners of breath. Between one grave and another in bristle cone time travel, culminations in history of dance between one moth-blown seed and briars born on rain. Swapped keys of detonation, crow and fire bicker. Commerce out of contour between frame X and X+1, the next, the erasure of integument, the fatty inside of the moment, its put downs and settlings in, distilled in charcoal against the death drive of rushed red arrow.
Unspooled. The riverbank sparkled as if it were a stranger. Our perch was an eddy, our praise a smooth green tablet. You wore your mouth like a curtsy. Night rose bugle beaded and skin deep. We woke clay soft. Was it you who stopped to burn all wrist and clavicle? One bloomed, one fell from a tree. One bloomed a blue praise of daybreak. We were led to dig stars out from under pavement, tar-hot smell stinging our eyes. Stories moved in from the margins, birdwing, halo, landlock. You lifted saffron from the crown of an acorn, crayoned negative handprint to tongue. Tell me again in crosshatch, ladder pulled up, river renamed vein. One fell from a tree.
Microbiome. We have sealed rooms already contaminated by our thought, setting up lab in the midst of our imprint. Did you put your face shield on, which is nothing more than surface and overflow? Did you pocket the telescope arm of your action, arson, sequestration? What we found was more than ancient echo, spotted horses, or starfish symmetry. One of the things that won't tame, that won't translate, won't cooperate, won't draw itself because the mirror will never be invented, because exit signs, escape hatches will never be invented. We were already there at the source of contamination. The altar was the first machine, already irritable for the more, the making means of, the fallen soft ceiling of spores the size of whims, the most auspicious antlers as candelabra, as time capture, as whole flash fiction. We did not set out to study cave art or hang ourselves from the cave mouth. The guts of the question contained the bacterial answers. One of the things that won't be rendered innocent, innocuous. One of the things that won't be renditioned. You can't draw yourself out of the rock. The footprints collapse into deeper footprints. We have sealed the rooms. There will be no further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Judson Evans and Gail Batchelder. Okay, I think Carol Weston is up next. Carol, are you there?
Yeah, let's just make sure we can queue up the thing we need to have going first.
Suzanne's got that.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Okay, lovely.
Hang on one second. Let me just make sure that it's going. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and there. Yep, all set.
Hey, Carol, please.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm starting with this outrageous idea of my birthday. Spark, you seized prehistory by the scruff of the neck. My name is Care All Quest On. I am born of lightning 3.5 billion years ago today, starting with the first cell upon the water. I am primordial. I live on the land before there were names, the supercontinent Pangea. Every form of life that ever lived lives in my body. I am exhausted as my breathing moves the mountains of my mind. And I move with love for all the forms of life inside me. The second poem is to Linda Crane, Zen Buddhist and leader of shamanic journeys in Gloucester. Linda, on your 23rd birthday, you threatened to pull the telephone out of the wall, and you put your foot into your birthday cake. At 46, with cancer unknown in your body, you crawled across the floor inside a bear skin. The bear, your power animal. Your shamanic journeys touched 1,000 lives. The deer of your being dance through the wolves of your death. And now, to Quincy, swim to the Moss-Watusick hummock. I have come through the slime and barnacle rocks into the endless room of existence. The graceful seabird that does not see me crashes its flutter low across me. I am the eyes suspended in the water. I am the breather suspended in the waves. I feel all animal kind breathe inside me as I swim. I float on the line of perception. I am the center of a sphere, a speck unseen in the water, pinpoint of winds. The breath of death. The breath of death pounds on my chest. I, who slept through all the wars, am part of all that I detest. I don't know how the time. Oh, I'll do this one. What dawns? In his dream, he was ground up in his mother's mouth. In the museum, he spread his arms and screamed at the sight of the bleeding Christ. If he were breathing now, what dawns would be reflected on his face?
Hi, Carol, are you still there? Am I?
So my life was, my voice was not loud enough then.
Oh, okay, great, great. Thank you, Carol.
Should I continue? I don't.
Yes, please do continue.
Oh, okay. Instant. This instant is the space over the candle flame, where no flame shows, and everything that enters here burns into ashes. I think that's all. Thanks so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Carol Weston.
Thank you so much, Carol. That was beautiful.
Beautiful. So glad you were able to be here tonight. Okay, we have up next Lloyd Schwartz. Take it away, Lloyd.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. Thank you, all the tech people. I can't imagine juggling all this complicated tech work, and thank you for the other readers, to the other readers. I have a brand new book coming out, but I don't even have my own copy yet. But I so I can't show it to you, but I am going to read. I'm just going to read the title poem of that. It's a new and selected poems, and this is one of the selected ones. So this is really it's an old poem, but it's the title poem, and it's called "Who's on First?" It's a dialogue. Who's on first? You can be so inconsiderate. You are too sensitive. I don't even have my own copy yet. But, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just here. Can I just continue? All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to start again because I was hearing my own echo. Who's on first? You can be so inconsiderate. You are too sensitive. Then why don't you take my feelings into consideration? If you weren't so sensitive, it wouldn't matter. You seem to really care about me only when you want me to do something for you. You do too much for people. I thought you were going home because you were too tired to go with me to a bar. I was, but Norman didn't want to come here alone. I'm awfully tired. Do you mind taking the subway home? Silence. You could stay over. Silence. I'll take you home. Silence. Why do we have sex only when you want to? Because you want to have sex all the time. Relationships work when two people equally desire to give to each other. Relationships rarely work. Do you love me? Of course, but I resent it. Why aren't you more affectionate? I am. Couldn't we ever speak to each other without irony? Sure. I love you, you know. Yes, but why? Do you resent my advice? Yes, especially because you're usually right. Why do you like these paintings? What isn't there is more important than what is. Your taste sometimes seems strange to me. I'm a Philistine. A real Philistine would never admit it. I suppose you're right. Aren't you interested in what I care about? Yes, but not now. We should be more open with each other. Yes. Shall we talk things over? What is there to say? Are you ever going to cut down on your smoking? Doesn't matter. I don't inhale. Sometimes I get very annoyed with you. Your cynicism is too easy. Words interfere with the expression of complex realities. Do you enjoy suffering? You can't work if you don't suffer. But we suffer anyway. I know. Do you think we ever learn anything? I've learned to do without. You're always so negative. I feel death all the time. Are you afraid of anything? Not working. What shall we do for dinner? It doesn't matter. Whatever you'd like. Why don't you care more? I do. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, humanity. That was very nice.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Lloyd. Okay, we have next. Great, Lori Lori Lubeski.
Okay. Thank you. This poem is called Nostalgia. Nostalgia is a medical diagnosis in the 1600s for the Swiss mercenary soldiers who had a pathological homesickness when fighting away. A Homeric term meaning pain or ache, a mania to return, viewed as a disorder of the brain. Sadness, sleeplessness, loss of appetite, weakness, which was not well received. Those were demeaned, treated cruelly and inhumanely. Melancholy, malnutrition, brain fever, hallucinations. Pathologically homesick, funeral darkened caravan of pandemic endeavors, charade beats charade, collapse undoes collapse, panic attack during panic attack. Promises gain heart's entry, rampart beats gloating, evidence has no evidence for anyone's qualifications. Jaw slack, no numbness, no dove released palms drawn, hands cupped in due diligence. All bets are on and in between. Promises escalate. Bring this man to me, nostalgic for dirt and nothing else but being home from fatigue. 2. Superhero plot symphony condemned to incessant crying, words undoing, undone, undid, quandary, hellscape. 2 male men at the same time come up the steps, one behind the next. Faint delivery men, masks or no masks. Pale sky, dark storm hours await, looming centerpiece. Pledge makes no peace, pledge makes no money, masked or unmasked. Disease persists, tolerance panics, ejection seat validated, ruin upon ruin upon ruin. 3. Delight, candid, broken, exhausted, sentimental, wooded, worried, hand sewn, clipped, dragged, daggered, explained. Maniacal, hallucinating, weakness, sleeplessness. 4. Before the language of pandemic, protests, militia, the language of the virus subsumes us. Before the vocabulary of the virus, we were innocent, bleached, unquarantined, unstay-at-home orders, uneconomic downfall, now permanent malevolence. 5. Nostalgia is the burning glow of the seared skin of memory lapse. confronted by city planners, surveyed by eagles, glossed over in damage control reports, outnumbered by data. Corrosive by nature, yet too immature to survive on its own. The quick awakening, lost breath from all of that heavy metal in your lungs, determined to undermine stability. No man's land, undertow down toward oblivion. 6, tell me you're corrupt, I will believe you. Salvage from war-torn hypocrisy, double down on change. Don't be forgiven for not being present. I alluded to eternity, not sled riding detention centers, for don't tell me about porches when a man is dead, half fallen. Good night, rock, good night, stone, good night, pony, good night, crying, good night, importance, good night, semblance, good night, parking garage. A truck for the choir, then inquire.
Oh yeah, I think we're out of time. But thank you very
Okay.
much. Yeah,
Thank you.
sure, great. Thank you. Okay, I think we're on to Aaron with no fluorine. Okay, great. Aaron,
I believe it's my turn.
oh, you know what? I just seem to be jumping ahead.
It's fine.
Come on down. Okay.
Cool. All right. It's okay.
Bridget, yay.
All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. And thanks to my friends and family who are tuning in online. Hi, Grandma, if you're there in San Francisco. Love to you all. Okay. I'm reading happy romantic poems because I'm watching Ted Lasso and I want to be optimistic. Pull me. Oh, it starts off a little unhappy though. Pull me in the midnight. Pull me in the midnight and pull me in the summer's dawn, the glow coming through windows. Pull me, draw me the words. The villains in mysteries are you, handsome and conniving like wolves. You capture me sometimes. Sometimes I trap myself and also you when the moon is just right. I feel you coming. I feel you. You come toward me and I you. Purple, desperate, drawn. What feelings? Laying alone in my bedroom, praying for sleep or falling asleep, a blessed bare bedroom with only me to warm the sheets. What feeling? Not alone on my bed, you far away but getting bigger, tall, rising in your chair, words and winks and pauses. I divine to net you toward me. I feel you still in words, breath, skin, fill me. Can we stop lapsing into our midnights? Can we capture the right colors, foolishly making memory? 2 smooth stones from salt water, the foam rising, salt meniscus, fragile on your back, weakening in the prison, closed up to all reason, this winding stream of a journey, always sucking us in. No bartering for these goods. I give no flake of my skin for anything but my own desires. Everyone else's may be fulfilled by another, more pertinent party. Letting the darkness invade isn't an option any longer. May you feel love, may your heart race, may your palms sweat, may your eyes glow for the ages, may your hand be in the right hand, a blessing for romantic love. Dear Moonbeam, appeal to the highest part of ourselves. Check out what heaven is like from the kiss on the left side brain. Spare an hour and a half once every few weeks on an eager colliding, one unquestioned pinnacle of soul discourse is blowing your mind. Climb the mountain, enjoy the struggle. Don't stop to ask, are we there yet? Steal your body from forgetting. Struggle through the design of a raise. See the pyramids along the Nile. Thrill to rolling moves, moves that ain't fair. Passion, decide on intense, vulnerable, yearning, playful passion. Accept it into the radio veins and don't miss a single thing. Smell the dream, list to empathy, touch the glaze, taste the tone, hear the lipstick stains, feel words, be effectively dumbfounded every day, desire a cataclysm. This is the expectation of love, inaccessible, terrible, universal love. Sincerely, tonight. Memory from Moonlight. It's not easy to say goodbye when you're tipsy from kissing. All you can think about is bare shoulders. Then you breathe through your nose, up later than you should be, restless in your cute pajamas. Pretty sure this is the sort of one who'll suit you just fine. No matter the trouble, the business of the past, this will go down easy. Everything okay. Calm, peace, love, joy. Dawdling in the morning, giving those little nibbles on your earlobe that clap your heart like thunder. You don't even ask to kiss each other. You just stand and dance in the middle of the wood planks, juiced up on wanting. Such sparks, a Dijon kind of flourish to your skin, spicing up the brain, glowing from memory by the moonlight at the windowsill. This is my last one. Prayer to joining. Blessed be to love, what it means and what it could mean. It's relentless pink in February, it's deceptive virginal white in June. Love ebbing, love waxing, love flowing, love waning. The possibilities, the recklessness, the impossibilities, the deliberation. A terrible, terrible inflaming. A piece of peace that slips continuous through the day. However it appeals to you, join, join, join together for love. Thank you.
Lovely, Bridget, just what the doctor ordered
Beautiful.
these days. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see if I will not miss a name, and I won't because Florine is not here. So we now go to Aaron Bells.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Great. I'm just going to read a few short poems. The Square Well. So we had a meeting to discuss our meeting format. Fair enough. But then we had a debrief to discuss how that meeting went. Fair enough. But then we had a fourth brainstorm. By the fifth confab, I was penciling in a sixth session on the calendar. It was far enough in the future that for enough of us, fair enough didn't fire enough of our imaginations measurably. Immeasurably, time loped not onward, but inward, and it looped. My schedule became a circular well. Strike that, it was a square well. Well, it was a square, easy enough to delete the invitation everybody sent to everybody else. The Indivisible Man. One of my favorite movies growing up was The Indivisible Man. Wrapped in bandages from head to toe, his corpus could not be segmented. I liked that idea. I wished I hadn't lost both my hips in a sewing accident. Wish, in fact, you hadn't left me when you did. False sense of pride. The biggest mistake I ever made was breaking your heart. If by breaking your heart, you mean trading my Dwight Yoakam belt buckle for the false sense of pride with which I entered my current position at Whirlpool. Wow, am I not good at this? Kant. I wonder if Kant, feeling weak, ever muttered to himself, more like Immanuel can, and if so, if that worked. A poem for Micah. Whenever I send an email, I imagine its recipient opening it, developing a curious look, or rereading it with concentration, and then relaxing all facial expression into a broad grin and calling others who might be nearby to come see what just arrived from Aaron Bell's, reading it aloud to them, rereading parts of it more slowly and drawing a few reactions, some laughter, some outrage, which then avalanche into a cacophony of laughs and expressions such as "how sage" and "I misjudged the man," because this is how I read all email I receive from you, Micah. At first, they give me pause, but then the world opens and I walk in. Sick beats. I sneezed on the beat and the beat got sicker. Actually, it had COVID. Unsurprisingly, as our dystopias unfold, dicta such as the future is now and manage the present proliferate. But is it, and must we, with respect to those two, the present, if allowed to billow like a cephalopod ink cloud, may ward off predators and may yield starlit fields full of girlfriends dancing slowly to heavy bass shoegaze while boyfriends sit in the cut, sliding their fingers across their iPhones. And what are they if not pushing the boundaries of doing things differently as night comes on? This is the last poem called My LinkedIn. And a lot of my poems are about corporate life because I've worked at Fidelity Investments, which is in Boston, actually. So the Boston Poetry Marathon is appropriate for me. My LinkedIn. If people ask who I am, say I'm an experienced omni-channel marketing content designer specializing in AI gamification for enhanced industry visibility within the micro influencer space, who can monetize basically anything, not only by implementing e-com solutions directly in your interactive engagers, but by strategizing larger media buys across all social platforms until your own face appears utterly breathtaking when you look at it in the mirror in the morning, and the people in your life love you for who you actually are, instead of merely an opportunity for professional advancement. That's it. Thank you.
Lovely. And disconcerting at the same time.
That was pretty great.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Let me just go quickly through all of our readers. We had Gail Batchelder, Judson Evans, Carol Weston, Lloyd Schwartz, Lori Lubeski, Bridget Eileen, and Aaron Bells. Woohoo! All right. And coming up next, the next round, sorry, I copied and pasted this so I would be prepared. Jordan Davis, Christina Liu, Sawako Nakayasu, Maria Damon, Ben Friedlander, Zoe Tuck, Douglas Rothschild, Leanne Brown, and Brendan Lorber. So that's up in the next.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Great hour.
Everyone.
So nice to
Thank
see
you.
you all.
Fantastic hour. Thank you.
Bye-bye.